Hello everyone. The recent Grand Swiss tournament, widely regarded as the world's toughest Swiss competition, recently came to a close. We all now know the champion, none other than Indian Grandmaster Vidit. Surprisingly, Vidit's tournament started with a loss, not the ideal beginning if you aim to win. It's uncertain if winning was on his mind at the tournament start. Nonetheless, he bounced back impressively with consecutive victories.
This is a position from Vidit Shirov, round 4 after 26 move a3. So Shirov went for, well, what he thought was rather simple tactical operation. Bishop takes a3 and you cannot take on a3 because rook takes c3. Well, if queen takes c3, queen f5 and black just wins. So bishop a3 seemingly wins a pawn, but white was prepared. Rook takes f6 was Vidit's move. G takes f6, b a3, white gets material advantage, rook h3 kind of skewering everything on the third rank, and white has only but sufficient move, bishop b4 check. And after bishop b4 check, doesn't matter where the king goes, it's either queen will move with the tempo, or in case of king g7, rook g1, king h8, rook g3, white interposes the rook on the third rank. Bottom line, white's position is winning, and in few moves, Shirov resigned. In this game, round 7, Vidit is black against Jawahir Sindarov, and Sindarov just played h4, h5, trapping the bishop. Well, first things first, we may notice that even if bishop is simply taken, black still has some compensation. White king is somewhat weak, but black has one and only one way to decisive advantage, and this is a rook sacrifice on d3, the move that Vidit ended up playing. Rook d3, and now you can't take the bishop because queen g3, king h1, queen h3, you have to block, and then queen f3, black wins the rook. That's one line. You can't take the rook either because then knight d3 and knight f4 is a threat, and if you take the knight, bishop e4 wins the queen. Well, Sindarov found bishop takes f7, and now if you take with the bishop is getting deflected. If you take with the king, the bishop is taken with the check. But Vidit saw through this, and he goes king f8, rook d3, knight d3. Once again, knight f4 is a threat, e4 is a threat. Well, he ended up playing queen e3, after which black has quite a few ways of winning the game. Vidit chose, well, maybe not the fastest one, but certainly the safest. So queen e4, bishop e4, and then he simply captures the bishop and had no problem converting this endgame after bishop c6. So that was for round 7. Then a couple of draws back-to-back against Hikaru Nakamura and Andrei Yesipenko. And in round 10, Vidit strikes again, once again with the black pieces. So going into penultimate round, obviously the situation is very tense for Vidit. He is facing with black Daniil Bogdan Diak, very promising Romanian player, well, fresh 2700 player. Well, and you can see, you can tell yourself, so it was the Sicilian knight of variation, and usually black is seeking counterplay on the queen side, but not Vidit, and not in this position. The move he played was g7, g5. Very controversial, very unusual, expanding on the king side, where traditionally in the Sicilian it's white who is playing on the king side. So g7, g5 was the idea to go even further, to go g4. Well, it has to be said, so white was not forced to lose this position, of course, but g4, g5, g4 had such a powerful effect that his opponent made the mistake on the very next move. Bishop to d2, g4, bishop e2, and a little cute tactic immediately spotted by Vidit was bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, and knight to d5. It turns out white queen is practically trapped. You can't go queen g3 because e2 is hanging, while queen doesn't have any other squares. So white would have to resign if not for knight f6 check. So very nice resource, but then after bishop f6, queen e4, bishop g7, black is a pawn up, he has an initiative. Well, the position is still very complex, white is still in the game, there have been, mistakes from both sides, but eventually Vidit emerge victorious from this one. So going to the last round, it was a trio of leaders. It was Vidit, Yesipenko and Nakamura. Nakamura made the draw, Yesipenko lost, and only Vidit won his game, a very long grindy game against Alexander Predke, which yielded him clear first place and the spot in the candidates. Well, hope you enjoyed the video and see you guys in the next one.